Everybody, Dr. Ben here with Dr. Patton or Dr. Angelica, whatever you want to call her, with Alpha Sports. Today what we're going to be going over is the benefits of stretching, static versus dynamic, and then some other things in between there. Stay tuned. Everybody, like I said, Dr. Ben, Dr. Patton, here to talk about stretching, static versus dynamic. So what are the benefits? When do we do it? A lot of people always ask me, should we be stretching statically, meaning just getting into a position right before a game? I would say no. Think of your muscles kind of like a rubber band. If you're gonna be nice and cold going into an event and all of a sudden you're gonna stretch them out to a certain length and you're gonna hold it there, you're gonna be losing that elasticity. You're actually gonna be producing possibly more harm than it is good. So I would say before games, you need to be more dynamic stretching. After games is when you want to statically stretch once you're already nice and warm, you've already been playing, and you can actually start to try and change some length of that soft tissue. But we're going to go over both of those and show you what they actually look like. So, static stretching. When do we want to do it? What is it good for? What is it good for is increasing blood flow. It's also good for increasing length of soft tissue. Now, the research shows us you have to be pretty consistent with static stretching to actually get any permanent change in the length of that soft tissue, which is 6 weeks of you doing it every day. Good luck with that. So, static stretching, what it looks like is, I'm gonna have Angelica, she's gonna hold on to this. So basically what we're gonna be going through, static stretching is getting into a position and then holding it. It's static. It's what we all think about when we think about stretching. So for her, where do you feel this stretch? So she's feeling more kind of like upper pec, anterior delt, kind of come over the top side of her delt. It may be different for me. That's the nice thing about stretching is that it is individualized and it's dependent on where you are the tightest. So for her, static stretching, she would sit into this position, and what the research shows is to really get any good benefit out of the stretch, we need to be sitting in this for about 100 to 120 seconds. So this is what static stretching will be. Like I said, it's to increase blood flow and to encourage increasing the length of that soft tissue. Dynamic stretching in the same muscles, because she's already been here, we already know that muscle, those are the muscle groups that she's trying to stretch in that position. She can sit in that position, she can kind of slowly rotate away from that position or that side and kind of stretch that even more, and then she would rotate back into it. So she can come in and out of that position, which would be the dynamic portion of that. She could also use this arm to kind of flex down in front of her, where she's coming down in front, where she's going to be contracting those same muscles that she was feeling the stretch in and allowing the band to pull back a little bit more, which means she might have to step out a little bit more to get a greater stretch, whatever it is. Like I said, it is dependent on the person that's doing it. So if you're not feeling it, especially if you're using a band like this, these are just examples, by the way, not you have to do it this one way. It's the great thing about stretching is you may have to finagle it and do it whatever way that makes sense to you and that you feel it in your body. But that's dynamic stretching. Dynamic stretching is what we want to do when we're going into an event. So like a boxer about to get into the ring or a swimmer about to get into the pool or anything, we want to be doing dynamic stretching. We want to be warming up the muscles at the same time as encouraging that length to change. We're also trying to get the body ready to be in whatever position we're getting into. So if we are doing some sort of weightlifting, and we're trying to get into a front rack position, we want to be able to stretch our lats out in certain muscles to be able to get our elbows in front of our face essentially well so that we can be able to receive the bar well. So it's things like that. That's why we want to use dynamic stretching. The other thing that we can do, and it's kind of inside of dynamic stretching, is nerve flossing. So one of the things that we can do with the upper body specifically is we have your median, radial, and ulnar nerve that come out of your neck, come down your arm, and control all the innervation down and through your arm, different sections for each of those nerves. But we can go through and we can do a type of dynamic stretching, which is called nerve flossing. So show us the ulnar nerve flossing. So bringing your hand all the way in there and then bringing it all the way back out is going to be stretching that nerve along all that soft tissue inside of there, which is a dynamic stretch because you're moving while you're stretching through that. But what it's going to be doing is it's going to be flossing the nerve. So any of those condensed tissues that are sitting around the nerve that are really holding on to it are going to be able to kind of loosen up. So you can do that. That's specifically for ulnar nerve. We can do some other ones for median and radial nerve as well. This video is not for giving you stretches. This is just explaining the benefits of both. When would we use this one? This is when we're feeling kind of nerve pain, hot, burny pain, that type of stuff, or we're getting zingers, or we get into a certain position, our arm starts to go to sleep. That's when we start using these kind of stretches. That's what it would help with. So go forth, stretch like an alpha.